Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Grandma. Today is cookie day here in the household. We're going to be starting off with cream cheese cookies. I've already got some softened cream cheese in my bowl. You need 4 ounces, and you need 1 cup of butter. It says half a pound, which is 16 ounces in a pound. Sorry, half a cup of butter, beg your pardon. My math is really good today, isn't it? Half a cup of butter. 16 ounces is a pound, so half of that is 8 ounces, which is half a cup. We're going to put that in the bowl. And to that, we're going to add 1 cup of sugar. And this is a pretty easy recipe. They don't last very long. They're nice and soft, chewy cookies. There's half a cup and a cup. They are sweet, so, you know, if you're watching your intake, don't do these because they're very good, but they're very sweet. Alright, so now we're going to mix this together. I am going to use my mixer because it's a little bit easier and it's a little bit quicker. You don't have to, you can struggle with the wooden spoon, but okay, so I'll use the noise just for a minute, but I'm just going to whip this up real quick. A very noisy mixer. It's a handy thing, but it's noisy. My wish list is a big stand mixer. Right now I just have the hand one. And there, that was all it took. It would have taken a lot longer with the wooden spoon. Just going to give that a quick go around, make sure there, everything's nice. And you see how nice and creamy that is. That's what you want, nice and creamy. All the butter, sugar, and cream cheese is mixed in together. Now to that, we're going to add the egg and the vanilla. So 1 egg. 1 egg going in. And a teaspoon of vanilla. That's in. So we're going to mix that. We're going to beat that well. Now we don't have to use the mixer anymore because everything else is all incorporated nice and smoothly. This will just take a minute. You just go ahead and mix them in. Alright, beat well. Now it's all mixed in. Now we scrape down the bowl and add the rest of the ingredients and beat well. Alright, so the rest of the ingredients are 2½ cups of flour. I will put all these ingredients in the description list for anybody if they want to make these themselves. By all means, go right ahead. There's half. 1.5. Apparently my little grandson, he's only 4, my youngest grandson, he watches my cooking videos, his mom said, and while he's playing with his cars, he's pretending he's got his cooking show. And he'll say, now we're going to add 1 cup of flour, and he'll take his car and he'll pretend he's pouring flour and shaking one like for salt. It's really adorable. He loves to bake when he comes over my house. We always bake some cookies. And we need 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. He's always, him and his middle, the middle one is almost 7. He's going to be 7 the middle of next month, and that's what he does. He likes to bake and do crafts. So there we go. That is it for this recipe. Butter, cream cheese, sugar, egg, vanilla, flour, and salt. How easy is that? I love recipes that are quick and easy, that don't cost you like, you know, $30 for ingredients, and that can be whipped up real quick. These are great if you're, you know, have an unexpected company. You have like an hour before somebody gets there. You can throw this all in a bowl. They take 15 minutes or so to bake, and there you go. You've got something to serve for them. And if you've got kids or just, you know, adults that like cookies, which is what I have in my house now, all adults, and we just all love our cookies. So there you go. It is a very soft batter, as you can see, but that's okay. That's what you want. And we're going to, by a large teaspoonful, drop it down. And you do not have to butter your cookie sheets for this. Because of the fat content of the butter and the cream cheese, they don't stick. which is wonderful. So we're going to start off. We're going to go ahead and put our, let you see what I'm doing here. You've seen this before. It's easy. Just take a spoonful and scrape it off, and there you have it. Now that took me all of 8 minutes from start to finish. Well, not to bake, but I mean the preparation. One way you can cut down on your prep time is if you get everything out and put it out on the counter or table, wherever you're working. Get everything out, all your measuring ingredient equipment, all your ingredients. For one thing, it helps to know that before you start a recipe, it helps to know that you have everything, because if you know you're partway through making something and you realize you're run out of a key ingredient, you can always go to a different recipe, but that recipe is not going to help you, because with baked goods you have to be very precise. You can change up, like when I make my muffins, you can change the fruit if you're making fruit muffins, but you can't change, there's no substitute for flour or sugar. I mean, you can omit the sugar, but then it's not going to be very sweet. And so if you get everything out, get all your measuring cups, your measuring spoons, all your ingredients, your baking pans, always, 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 the minute you think cookies, you preheat your oven. The oven has to be preheated. And you get all of that out, and then you can go ahead and mix your ingredients according to the recipe, pop it in the oven, and you are good to go. Now, if you notice, I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera, that it's not as, the batter is not as thin and drippy. As it sits for a minute, it gets thicker. So there, they're not going to run. You can put these fairly close together because they don't spread very much. Make them pretty big. So there's 2 dozen. Now I'm going to pop those in the oven. And while they're baking, we will start with the no-bake chocolate cookies. We just set this bowl out of here for a minute. Get that out of our way. Now this is another recipe that I love. It's pretty easy. This is nice for in the summer if you want a quick dessert, but you don't want to have your oven on. It's too hot. We don't have air conditioning, so we don't want to have the oven turned on for a couple of hours while you want to bake. So let me just get a few more ingredients out. You see, I just got through saying get everything out. I just wasn't sure if I was going to make these. So we need sugar, butter, and milk. I have that out. Now I need to get my oatmeal. You want quick cooking oats. You don't want it. Well, you can use the instant oatmeal in the packages. That's okay, but make sure it's plain, not flavored, because it'll wreck the flavor. But you don't want the kind of oats that have to cook like 10 minutes in the bowl, in the pan. So you want the 1 minute, like this. You want the 1 minute quick oats. I know that's crooked, but it's too big of a bag to show you straight up. So we have oatmeal, cocoa. Coconut is optional. I have never used coconut in it. Don't buy it. Don't have any desire for it. I mean, I like it, but I don't use it. And a little bit of salt. Okay, so in a saucepan, I'm going to start different today. In a saucepan, we're going to put 2 cups of sugar. Pour that out real quick. And these are so delicious. My kids are going to come home and say, "Yay, Mommy baked." And I always send care packages home with my son. Him and his girlfriend bought a house, and both of them have real big sweet tooth. And for my daughter, also my oldest daughter, she also gets a treat when I bake. Now, with them working full time, they just don't really have time. Now, to my 2 cups of sugar, I'm going to put in a 1/2 cup of butter, and 1/2 cup of milk. And I didn't set my timer. I'm going to go ahead and set my timer for the cookies. You always set a timer because you get busy doing like this, doing another recipe, and you kind of, whoopsie, and all of a sudden you smell something cooking, and it's maybe cooked a little bit too much. So now for this, you put your 2 cups of sugar, your 1/2 cup of butter, and your 1/2 cup of milk in your pot. I'm just going to try to raise this up so you can see. There we go. You put this in there and heat it up. You cook it until it is, bring it to a rolling boil. So you want I'm trying to get my tablet up high enough so you can see what it's going to look like. Almost. Kind of piling things underneath of it here on the stand. That's too high now. Kind of trial and error here. There we go. If I tip it. There we go. If I tip it that way, it's not going to fall, so I'm good. Okay. Alrighty. That might just do it. Let me put one more under here. There we go. That's what I wanted you to do. What I wanted to do, so you all can see in the pan. You have the. We're not having a good day with this camera today. There we go. Now we've got the 2 cups of sugar, the 1/2 a cup of butter, and the 1/2 a cup of milk. And you stir this around. You want to stir it all the time. You don't want the sugar to burn on the bottom of the pan, and it will. I have put it on there, and while I was measuring out other things, oh dear. So, you know, you can't, burnt sugar is not good. Brown butter in some recipes, okay, but not for cookies and not burnt sugar. So you get that all mixed in. You can see that it's all, the butter's just about melted. You need to bring this to a rolling boil, and then while it's hot, we're going to add in our oatmeal, our cocoa, our vanilla. And then all you do is drop it about teaspoonfuls onto a cookie sheet. You can line it if you want to. You don't have to, really. It's not going to hurt. I usually put a little bit of foil. Wax paper if I have it. I don't have any right now, but tin foil will do. And then you put these in the fridge for like 3 or 4 hours. And take them off, and there you go. You do have to keep these stored in the fridge. You put them in a Tupperware container or a tin can or whatever you want to store them in, but they do have to stay in the fridge because they will get all sticky and gross if you don't. So that's steaming pretty good. I'm going to turn the heat up just a titch. Okay, I'm going to open up my bag of oatmeal. This is a fresh bag. I like these resealable bags because you don't have containers to put that in. And it's a very large bag, but it's got a Ziploc seal. We need 3 cups of oatmeal. Well, that's almost boiled. See, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to stop stirring for a second and pour this out. There we go. I don't want it to burn. I'll just stop every so often and give it another stir. So again, this is another really simple recipe. It's more involved time-wise than anything by letting something boil and letting it sit. The hardest part is waiting for them to sit. Truthfully, they wait till they're all solid. I mean, I've been known to kind of just have some right out of the bowl. I'm kind of in a chocolate mood today. I made some tri-level brownies. There we go. That is a rolling boil. That's what you want. You can see that. So we're going to take this off the heat. Move my camera back over to where it was. Take that off the heat, and to that we're going to add trying to get this back up here for you. Okay, to that we're going to add 3 cups of of oatmeal. So oatmeal goes in, and 6 tablespoons of cocoa powder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a teaspoon of vanilla. And that goes, and that's it. That's all there is to it. And you give this a really good stir. It will get very stiff very fast, so you've got to kind of incorporate everything as quickly as you can, because it's kind of like Rice Krispie squares, you know, when you melt the wax, when you melt the the marshmallows and you go to stir it in, and it kind of starts to setting up on you a little bit before you even can get it all thoroughly mixed. That's what these do. Now somebody out there needs to invent smell-o-vision. Let me know when it's done, because I will attach it to my tablet, because these smell amazing. You cook with chocolate, your whole house smells so good. Okay, so that's it. There you go. There you have it. Now we take a large baking tray. Cookie sheet. And I am going to line this with tin foil just so they can peel off a little bit easier and it's not so much mess. Now you can put these very, very close together. You don't want to touch, but you can put them very close together because they're not going to bake. They don't rise. Baking sheet there. Okay. And you use 2 teaspoons. And you just scoop it out. A teaspoon. You can make them bigger if you want, but then they do take longer to set in your fridge. So you want a nice heaping teaspoon, just like that. And you just put them right on your tin foil pan. These take a couple of hours to set up. You know, not too long, but by the time, you know, snack time comes around, you've got yourself some yummy cookies. So we're going to put about 5 in a row, because they, like I said, you can get them as close together as you can without them touching. Otherwise you'll just have kind of a big blob, right? But you can put them very, very close together. Then you fit more on the tray for one thing. And like I said, they don't rise because you're not baking it. I've got a few of no-bake recipes that you can do. I think I have to look back in my videos. I don't think I made the no-bake cheesecake. I can make that for y'all. These kind of recipes are good any time of year, but especially in the summer when it's really hot and you don't want to have your oven on. The cream cheese recipe is really simple. It's just a graham cracker crust, and you cook everything in the microwave. You do your cream cheese and sour cream, mix it all together, put it in the microwave, and put it in the fridge and let it chill for a couple hours, and you're good. But that's the kind of recipes you want. Quick, easy, ready to eat pretty much right away. Now this will get a fair amount if you don't make them too big. A teaspoonful is about all that you want, because they will not set properly if they're too big. I did that once just because I wanted bigger cookies, but it took them a lot longer to set, and actually they never did set all the way. They were kind of gooey, kind of, you know, sticky and a little too soft. These will get kind of hard in the fridge, but that's what you want. They're not stale hard, they're just solid. So I am just about done. You see how quick and easy. Again, it's just the timing, you know, of boiling everything and getting everything in the pan and then on this tray. It doesn't take long at all. Even if you are a working parent and you come home from work and you really don't want to do bake or anything, but you want desserts, you want something for the kids' lunch pails or your own lunch pail, and you know, take a Saturday and make a whole bunch of stuff up. Most of these recipes that I make, you can freeze. You can have them for another time. Just take them out of the freezer. And there you have a beautiful tray. So I'm going to go pop those in the fridge. There's still some more. I have to get another cookie sheet. And the other cookies are almost done. So we'll see you back here in a couple minutes. Okay, there we go. We are back, and these cookies took 15 minutes to bake. It says in the recipe 15 to 17. Always check them at the lowest temperature. And there are our cream cheese cookies. They're a very soft cake-like cookie. Put one off the cookie sheet here. There we go. And there you have it. That's not perfect round circles, but that's okay. And that's what they look like inside. Very soft, very chewy, very, very yummy. So I hope you all enjoyed. Make sure to like, subscribe, and if you've already subscribed, thank you very much. Leave a comment. Let me know what you'd like me to make. And we'll We'll see you next time. Have a great, super yummy day. Bye-bye.